Hello, Rubies. Welcome back to another episode on the Ruby Pink Mindset channel. And Rubies, one day I was observing a raccoon and I just went down a raccoon hole and I thought, how can I teach my Rubies through the behavior of a raccoon? Now, Rubies, we need to talk because we are right there at the end of the year. And a lot of women feel as if that they are healed. You're starting to feel as if that you're done with the man that carried you through a roller coaster throughout the year. You think you've moved on, but spiritually, emotionally, and energetically, Rubies, many women still give raccoon energy. And I'm going to explain exactly what that means because I found this like so wonderful to look at a creature in the wild and tie it into human behavior. Now, let me break this down in the simplest way, Rubies. But if this is your first time here, please do not forget to subscribe. And here on this channel, I teach the Rubies to not only live life strategically, but I teach you how to get through it in one piece by using wisdom from the Bible, using wisdom from older women, and just being cautious so you don't feel burnt out, so you can actually become that woman on your vision board. Now, let's get back to the topic. A raccoon, Rubies, does not continuously come back to somebody's yard for fun. And if you are in the Caribbean, and you have raccoons, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Raccoons come back because someone keeps feeding it or there's some source of food there. That's why raccoons come back. So that's whether you have a dilly tree, you have a guava tree, you have a canap tree. Like these are some indigenous plants in the Caribbean islands. You can bet your bottom dollar a raccoon is going to be nearby. Okay? In relationships, Rubies, there are going to be some women that will go through the season, and even myself at one point went through the season, and this is when you are the raccoon. Like you become the raccoon and you keep returning to a man that has already showed you he is not your future. And just like raccoons will stop coming eventually once the food supply is not there. And the food that I'm talking about, Rubies, which you're feeding him in a subtle way, is you checking his social media, you texting him back just to be polite, replaying old memories, wondering if he misses you, holding on to what ifs and all of these fantasies that you created, letting him pop in and out of your life as he please, keeping the door cracked. Not fully open, but just keeping the door cracked for emotional access. And you are sitting down saying, yeah, I'm done. No, you're not. But you're still eating from the same emotional trash can that this person gave to you that was not worth it. So, Rubies, this is what is raccoon behavior. And raccoon behavior is not funny. And if you start to think about it from this perspective, you will honestly stop doing a lot of things. Just imagine him sitting down with his groups of friends and saying, yeah, she's just like my raccoon. She comes back no matter how bad I treat her, no matter how poor the food quality is. Okay, just let that sink in. Raccoon behavior is very expensive. And every time you go back to him, Rubies, or even mentally entertain him, you will continue to lose pieces of yourself. And those pieces can be your dreams. Because your mind is so stuck in the past, and instead of your purpose, you slow down. You start to lose money when you stay in raccoon behavior because when a woman is stuck in a soul tie, you will overspend trying to feel desirable and to distract yourself from the pain. Have you ever had that, you went on the social media and you saw that he was out partying and doing whatever, and then you say, you know what, I'm gonna fix up and I'm gonna go out too. You're not fixing up for yourself. You're actually, because if you were the well-kept woman, you wouldn't have to get up and fix yourself. If you was actually following the well-kept woman system that I created for you, you wouldn't have to be doing all of that. The next thing that you do, Ruby, is you lose your pride and you lose your dignity, because every time you break your own boundaries, you feel smaller. You feel as if that you could not trust yourself. And then another thing you lose respect. That's why I say raccoon behavior is so expensive. You will stop trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, Rubies, you will start to attract people who you won't trust either. And as a Ruby, you have to realize that you cannot live a high value life while letting low value memories run your mind. It does not work. It cannot work. You cannot keep going back to trash because it will eventually poison you. I want to give an example. The other day, I did not bring my meal prep to work. And I was like extremely hungry because I expected to not be physically present in a particular area. And I thought I was going to be out and about, so I wouldn't have had time to warm my meal prep. Then I decided to binge on things that I did not have for a long time. In less than 12 hours, my body was not having it. I felt like I was having a fever. I was cramping up. I felt sick. And it was because I went back to eating things that I had already detoxed my body from. This is the same thing that happens to you every time you go back to somebody that you have already detoxed from. Now, if you don't know what are the signs you are not over him, if you don't understand what is soul tie or raccoon behavior, these are the signs, and these are the ones that really can't hide. These are the most prominent ones that you will see, Rubies. The first thing is his name still triggering emotions? If hearing about him still makes you feel some type of way, you are still tied. If you dream about him or feel still connected to him spiritually, soul ties operate in your subconscious mind, you are still tied. If you compare new men to him, that means this man is still your blueprint. You are still soul tied. You still want him to see your glow up. Remember, I tell you, you need to disappear. Disappear, silent glow up. I have a system where I teach you how to silently glow up so you can be more effective and you can actually maintain it. Okay? And if you still want a man to see your glow up, if your success is still performative for him, you are not over him. If you forgive him faster than you forgive yourself, you are emotionally loyal to someone who isn't loyal to you, you are still spiritually soul tied. These are the spiritual breadcrumbs that will always tell you the truth. These are the main things that a woman or Ruby would do when she's still spiritually connected to a man that is giving her breadcrumbs and she has become his raccoon. And if you want to know why soul ties make you act like this, it is because you are in a contract. Soul ties are spiritual contracts. I've had so much videos on this channel to tell you about soul ties. They form through 1, emotional vulnerability, 2, intimacy, 3, trauma bonding, 4, cycle repetition, and 5, fantasizing more than living. That's where you create fantasies about men that never gave you that reality. Period. Okay? And the enemy loves soul ties because they delay your real destiny by distracting your heart. And that's why Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart because everything you do flow from it. If your heart is in a place with a man that is not going to give you the best and is breadcrumbing you, everything else in your life will be breadcrumb. That is why when women separate from men that are not good for them, they go through this glow up. And I have such a deep dive episode for you on an analogy of what a woman is and Ruby is. I think this is going to tie in perfectly with the butterfly transformation course. And I just can't wait to do that episode breakdown for you. So when your heart is tied to the wrong man, your whole life will slow down. Okay? Your whole life will slow down. Take it from a woman that has been through these type of dynamics. My life always propelled when I'm not attached to the wrong set of people. Now, I'm not giving you a step-by-step process right now, Rubies, because that is going to be inside of my program and my system that I created for you. But I want to give you awareness. You will stop being a man's raccoon when you start feeding the soul tie. When you stop giving the emotional crumbs that keep him spiritually connected to you, Rubies, you will stop being his raccoon. When you stop letting your past starve your future, you will stop being a man's raccoon. Anytime you are about to go against your better judgment, your dignity, and your self-respect, remember a raccoon is a scavenger. And scavengers do not think from a place of abundance. They think from a place of lack. So they rampage through things. They eat, they throw the fruit, the seed, everything down on the floor. Like, y'all know, if you're from a Caribbean country, you know how these raccoons go. You know how these raccoons go. Think about yourself. That's what you are portraying. And you're not that. You are Ruby. You are Queen. You are Princess. You are an Esther. You're not that. So raccoon behavior cheapens your whole value. And you go against the well-kept woman system. Okay, so Rubies, if this episode resonated with you, I have the real transformation, which happens inside of my healing sexual energy / slow tie detox program. And that's where I will teach you the complete system to break the unhealthy attachments, reclaim your feminine identity back, because I want you to relish in your feminine energy. I want you to become her. Okay, I want you to get your power back, and I will have that linked in the episode description. So, Rubies, if, like I said, this resonated with you, drop no more raccoon energy. I'll put the raccoon emoji in the comments if you're done feeding what does not feed your future higher selves. I love you, Rubies, and I will see you next time. Bye.